Hi, in this tutorial series, I will take you through how you can create your own virtual examination template on Google Classroom for children who intend to write virtual exams in your school. Alright, now if you look at what I have here, I've got a template already created for my own classroom, and so I've got a caption, ICT Virtual Examination. Looking at this clearly, you would see that I've done it into sections. Now this is section 1 of 2, and scrolling down below you find section 2 of 2. I will show you how to create these sections. Right, first, you have your template opened up like this. If you hover to this corner of your page, you will find Add Section. Clicking on this creates a new section for you, section 2 of 3, with a caption here saying Untitled Section. When you click into it, this is where you can add a title of what section you are creating. I will come back to that. Now moving up here, I have this section created. Clicking into it, I titled it ICT Virtual Examination. Now, I have my instructions. Make sure that you enter your correct names, class arm, and parent emails. Now, it's important for them to enter the correct names so that you can identify them. The class arm for schools, they have various arms, and then the parent email. Now, you should know that some of these children are already up in IT, and so they already have their own email addresses, but you want them to enter their parent email addresses, as these will be the return email addresses for their scores, not their personal email addresses. Now, the second instruction says, please ensure you attempt all questions. It's important that children know that they need to attempt all the questions. The third instruction here says, do not send or give answers before, during, or after the examination to your classmates or siblings. Yes, this is like a guide for them to know that it's not expected that they send answers, their choices to their peers by text message or any way, since you might not be using a system where you could capture their faces. You're just using a simple template for this. So we'll just go through this in a later tutorial. I will show you how to use a system where you can capture their faces during their examination and all of that for effective monitoring. All right, now below this I have enter email address. Okay, now this is a default setting. Immediately you do this, look at under settings. Okay, immediately you go to your settings and enable this collect email addresses. Okay, automatically it creates this section for you. Okay, it creates a section for you saying that the email address is required. All right, so that's for section 1 of 3. Now I showed you how I created this section. Let me remove it. Delete section. How do you create that? Just simply hover to these icons here. The last one here is add section. Click on it. It creates a new section for you. So I can call this objectives. I can see objectives. Okay. Or I say part 1 in bracket objectives. Okay, so that's objective questions. Then below here you have description, which is optional. You can go in here and say something about the section. This section is for multiple choice questions. You are to select only one correct option. Okay, now with this the child knows that only one correct option is accepted for her choice here. Okay, so I can click on add question to start to create questions under the objectives. Now moving to the right, as we have learned, we have multiple choice. If you click on this, you see the multiple choice. So this is the one you will click on because you're just going to create all multiple choice questions. All right, remember to set required so the child doesn't skip any question. Hi, having looked at how to create a multiple choice options for your virtual exams. We would look at how to make use of the check boxes so that the pupil or the learner is able to choose more than one correct option. Okay, if I scrolled up through this, you would find the various sections I explained in the earlier video. Okay, now this is this. Remember, you go on to set your options as you would usually do. Now you would also set the correct answer key here so that it can auto grade. You can assign the score here, and of course choose the correct option. Okay, but all right, so you can go ahead to click done here. All right, good. Now looking at this other section, remember to use this section button to create a new section. Now let's say I want to create a multiple choice for the child to be able to select more than one correct option. I would use the check boxes. How does this work? I have which of the following is used to control machines. Look at the options. Buttons are used, switches are used, remote controls are used, but prints are not used for this context or in this context. So what I'll need to do is click on this option here and I'll see multiple choice. No, that's not what I want. I want the check boxes. Now selecting the check boxes makes the child to be able to choose more than one correct option in this question. All right, I will go ahead to the answer key to select the correct options, which are 1, 2, and 3 here, A, B, and D. I will assign the point and I'll click done. Now this is created. Okay, when you're done with all of these setting up for multiple choice and check boxes, you go straight to settings. Now under settings is where you're going to restrict the child from having access to a lot of things and also tell the Google Sheet or the Google form how to return answers. Now this is usually left this way so that you can be able to receive the responses from the children via email, and so that you can also send back their grades to them via email. Now we have response receipts. It says if respondents request for it or if always. Please uncheck this. Okay, if you want to do a type of examination where you do not want the children to get the results immediately. Sometimes you might want to do 1 or 2 check-ins on their scripts before sending to them. So you allow only collect email addresses to be checked, and you remove this one here that says response receipts. Then you want the child to be able to send in just one response, okay, into your form. So we enable this, limits to 1 response. Now for this, respondents can edit after submit. You say no because it's an exam, you want to keep to maybe 1 or 2 strict measures. See summary of chat and responses. You don't want them to see a summary of chat and responses. You leave it this way. You go to presentation and enable this show progress bar so that the child has an idea how many papers he or she is going to work with or answer. Okay, under confirmation message, you may want to make something more customized here. You can say thank you, comma, your examination script has been received by your teacher. Your grades will be, okay, your grades will be sent to your parents, or your grades will be sent to you using the, okay, using here is start this way, using their email address provided. And so it's important to let them know that they should provide the parents' email addresses, okay, for younger children and older children who are able to manage email addresses could provide theirs as an alternative, but we usually always advise that they provide you with their parents' email addresses for transparency so that you can send to the parents the scores of their children. So we say, thank you, your examination script has been received by your teacher. Your grades will be sent to you using the email address provided. Then you go to quizzes. Now you must check this to make it a quiz, okay, so that it's auto graded. Now we have release grades. Immediately after submission, no. Go to later, okay, because you do not want the grades to go to them immediately, so you leave it later. Respondents can see missed questions. No, you don't want them to see the questions they've missed. Correct answers. No, we don't want them to see the correct answers. Now you can allow them to see the point values if it's even, but if you have sections where you have to assign answers based on the answers they've given you, you might also want to remove this point values and go ahead to click on save here. Go ahead to click on save so that all the settings you have just made would be saved by the Google scripts. Okay, so that's one way to create control on your question for virtual exams. Okay, for virtual exams, that's one way to create control. I think that has answered a lot of the questions that have been posed to my page lately on setting virtual exams using Google Forms. Now, for all the questions, you can send your comments in the comment section below and we would look at them. Thank you very much. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this YouTube channel, Stan Ikechukwu. Bye for now. See you at the next video.